What's your thoughts on
So
McLaren battle, Piastri and Norris?
McLaren's team strategy. I think during the race, especially I think right around maybe the last 20 laps of the race, I kept thinking, okay, are we gonna see like a handoff at any time? Because
Hmm.
what can happen is, Piastri clearly has the pace.
Hmm.
Lando's clearly not, improving on, making a move on Verstappen. So how about we switch off and see if Oscar can challenge Max
Mm.
for a P1. And if not, you know, towards the end of the race, he'll get the position back.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. That is one way to do it. That,
You
yeah,
know, in a perfect world, in a world where, you're working as a team, because it is a
yeah,
team sport,
yeah.
that
Ah,
would be the ideal thing to do.
that's very logical. That is a real logical thing. Like everything you just broke down, completely logical. I have no pushback on it. But I think what it isn't um tending to or speaking to is how emotionally and egotistical these drivers are. Um, I remember, and this is different. I remember when Norris was had to give a place back to Piastri last year, and and it was a fight. I mean, there's a lot of arguing on the radio before that eventually happened. You definitely get a sense that if that was to happen, if Piastri was to pass Norris, and even if he was to pass Max Verstappen, it would dig into Norris's. It would dig into him. It'd almost subtly be saying, "Okay, that's a number one driver." And I think McLaren are trying to protect that. Also, in
Mhm.
post race interview, Piastri said really diplomatically, he was like, he didn't argue much with the radio message after he suggested swapping over, and they were like, no. Um, so there wasn't much conversation there. But he also said that's what happens when you qualify, when you don't have a great, when you don't
Yeah,
qualify ahead of your teammate. I thought I was really responsible, and I thought I was really kind of like, yeah, makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
I
Um,
agree.
so yeah, that protects the driver relationship within the McLaren garage. But I do also think what you're saying is very valid. If they tried it and it didn't work out, it's that's something that's a Red Bull thing. I think Red Bull
Yeah.
would be doing that if you know what I mean, if Piastri and Oscar were with the Red Bull team, it'd be like swap, let's try and push. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
They're like any means necessary to try and get a
Yep.
win. Whereas I think McLaren are kind of like sensitive to how their drivers feel and making sure that they protect that team um, ethos and morale between their drivers, so that when it is a time where they really need a swap, they can ask for it and
They
they'll
can
get
do
it.
it.